Okay, so a follow-up to that earlier announcement, I was able to finish that thing, at least the preliminary one. The first few tests worked okay. Here's the one I sent out earlier, so I updated it to this WebGen 10, WebGen 2. I don't know why I said 10 there. And what's going on with this is those extra requirements with the comments, like the website documentation generators and the specific header comments and stuff. I didn't want to make things harder for you. That's just a common thing. And some people chose IDEs where we can't really set up templates, such as idle here. It's very, very difficult to set up a template, and also very difficult to set up the um, automatic insertion of standard documentation generator comments. Um, so I thought I'd make a little function that kind of creates that stuff. So what it's doing here, if you haven't tested it, WebGen 2 is the finished one. So it runs and opens up the dialog box, so then we can just navigate to it. Here's a zip version of this I'm getting ready to send attached to this announcement, so you'll have these same files. And here's that one we just opened, which just some trivial examples of a couple variables and a couple different functions. So I just select that file. It runs very quickly. And if we come over here and open this back up, you'll see now those header comments and the doc strings for website of documentation on a project were automatically inserted from that. And the first couple preliminary tests worked okay. And that way, after you do that, you can just kind of navigate to that folder, delete folder, WebGen test. Yeah, that's it. Python, run the pdoc module, create an HTML file for that testing 123.py. There we go. And you can see those comments work through to create the website documentation for it. So all you'll need to do is go through and replace the things in capital letters with what obviously goes there, the name, the particular assignment, description of what that variable is, or a summary of a function, the type and description for all of the arguments that get passed in, and a description of what gets returned from a method. So basically just after you write your scripts, need that open. After you write your scripts, just run that, and then it'll add in all the comments, and you'll just come through and replace those with the particular things for yours. And I went with Google notation this time instead of NumPy. Let me know if you hit any problems. Test it past the preliminary debugging steps. It seemed to work. Or modify it yourself. And this sort of thing is a common tool. So maybe take a look at this and keep that in mind, that sometimes it's not necessarily the final release software is not the only thing we're making. We might make other little programs along the way that make our job of making that final release easier. Take a look at that. You probably have some ideas to clean it up and modify it, and could come up with a few improvements to put on there, but hopefully that'll make that requirement a little bit easier for y'all. See you soon.